Hey guys, welcome back to the sports stuff video. Today we are talking about the Carolina Panthers and my offseason plan to get them back to the playoffs. This is officially the first playoff team that I am talking about. So if you guys enjoy, please like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into the video. So the Carolina Panthers, no major changes on offense or defense when it comes to coaching. So let's go right into the actual offseason. Starting off in 2026, you're at $12.5 million of cap space. So it's an okay number, better than better than being negative and having to restructure and cut a lot of people to get back to positive. So no major changes need to happen. 2027, you're at positive 111, and in 2028, you're at positive 232. So technically, what you could say is that in 2 years, this roster could be completely different, because currently you're at positive 232 in 2028. You have no, restrictions to just moving off of all the guys that are making a lot of money, or aged veterans, or young guys that don't really work out, and resetting in 2028. So that could be an option, but we are going to go in with this window of Bryce Young, entering restructures, cuts and or trades. There's going to be no cuts and no trades for this team. I don't want to add any long-term money when it comes to trading for a player, and when it comes to cuts, I want to keep all my guys on roster. This team did a good job this last year. It has to be another consistent effort by everyone. Derek Brown, I'm going to restructure Derek Brown. He's our franchise defensive lineman. Derek Brown, restructured for $11.6 million. Then J.C. Horn, we signed out last offseason to a massive deal. We're going to restructure him and save $12.3 million and open up $24 million of cap space to help us this year. So now we're going to be at positive $37.6 million. That's a solid number to go into re-signings and extensions, because there's a couple of guys on the offensive line I want to talk about getting extended, getting restructured, so we can open a little bit more cap space. But positive $37 million in 2026, positive $100 million in 2027, and positive 222 in 2028. But the big thing I want to talk about is the offensive line. First off, I want to re-sign Cade Mays. Cade Mays, this last year, their center, had a 62 PFF grade, a 58 run blocking, 69 pass blocking, 2 penalties, and 0 sacks allowed. He's shown improvement every year in multiple systems, whether it was with Frank Reich, whether it's now with Dave Canales, or it was with Matt Rule. Cade Mays has been around this team for 4 years, and every year has gotten better, even though there's multiple different systems being run. He's an athletic center who mauls in the run game, someone that you can absolutely build your run game around that can anchor the offensive line. With Cade Mays healthy, Bryce Young is 8-7 with him, and without Cade Mays healthy, he is 4-19. So Bryce Young behind Cade Mays is able to stay upright, is able to decide where he's going to throw the ball quicker, and the run game is more effective with Cade Mays. So I want to extend him on a 4-year, $48.5 million deal, $28 million guaranteed at 58% guaranteed. So it's toward the top end of the money for the offensive line at center. But Cade Mays, very young, it's only 24, 25 years old, is absolutely entering his prime right now. And Bryce Young plays the best behind him. I don't want to lose anything that Bryce Young gained this last year and a half. So let's extend the center and make sure this offensive line can stay competent for Bryce Young. Next is going to be Taylor Moton. Taylor Moton is their franchise right tackle. Last year, had an 81 PFF grade, 77 pass blocking, 82 run blocking, 5 penalties, and 3 sacks allowed. He's a veteran on this offense. Everyone on this offensive line, on this offensive in general, not just the offensive line, they're all under the age of 26. Taylor Moton is the only guy that feels like he's over at 26, because Chiggs is 26. All the wide receivers are young. Yeah, he's got to be the only guy in this offense starting group that is over the age of 26. So he's absolutely the veteran in this room. And in my opinion, he's had his best season of his career, blocking for Bryce Young. He's an amazing run blocker. He allowed Rico Dowdle to shine, and he allows Bryce Young in the pocket to decide where he's going to throw the ball. I think he's absolutely integral to what this team wants to do on the offensive line. So we're gonna restructure his deal. We're going to lower his cap hit and add more guaranteed money. That is our goal for Taylor Moton, because currently he's on a 3-year deal, but only one of them is partially guaranteed. So we're going to restructure it, lower his cap hit in 2026 and in 2027, but give him more guaranteed money. So here's what I decided to do with Taylor Moton to extend him, make sure he's a Panther for life. Like I said, he's on a 3-year deal. Currently, it's a 3-year, about $50 million deal. $58 million deal, but only 13.1 is guaranteed. And I don't think you guys understand, in the NFL, no one cares about cap number. What they care about is guaranteed money. So what we're going to do is we're going to restructure his contract, keep that 3-year deal intact, but we're going to lower the cap number. So in 2026, We're going to lower his cap number all the way down to the 13.1 million that he is guaranteed already this year. So nothing changes there, but we're going to renegotiate the next 2 years. So we're going to lower his 2027 cap hit from 28.4 down to 22 million even, and fully guarantee next year as well. Then in 2028, to make up for that lost money, we're going to renegotiate into basically a $32 million a year, where more than likely he will not be on this team in 2028, because paying a 37, 38-year-old right tackle $32 million is not feasible. So if he's still playing at a great level, I'm willing to renegotiate. But as of right now, it's basically a 2-year deal with that 3rd year being a team option. Because if we cut him, we can save $22 million in cap space in 2028. But at worst, you have a franchise right tackle. You want to extend him, have him be a Panther for life. But it averages out from a 3-year, $56 million deal with $13 million guaranteed. What we're going to do is restructure that deal into a 3-year, $67 million deal, $45 million guaranteed, which is 67%. So we add in over $30 million in guaranteed money onto his contract, and we up it about $17 million what he's actually due. So he makes more money. The team lowers his cap hit for this year and next year. And in 2028 is where we need to worry about that cap number. But I'm willing to do this, renegotiate it. And I think it's a great number for both parties. He gets his guaranteed money. We get him on a lower number. It works out for everyone. Then some other signings. We'll get tender Bryson Tremaine. He's a backup lineman. I'm willing to keep him for only $885,000. Then Jalen Coker, great starting wide receiver in the slot for us, $1 million. I'm going to keep him. So entering free agency, we're now at positive $40 million after the restructured Taylor Moton and also the restructures that we did earlier. Next year at positive 94, the year after at 182. Very healthy cap number to be at, and we're going to use it wisely. We're going to use it very wisely. The first signing I want to do is Alex Singleton from the Denver Broncos. Alex Singleton this last year had 84 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 50 run stops, which was top 12 in the NFL. With 15 pressures. He's a very good linebacker. I'm willing to sign him to a multi-year deal to get him away from Denver. He's lots of fun to watch. He's been the green dot for Denver defense the last couple of years. He's an amazing run defender, and I do think Denver, they could re-sign him, but I think the signing of Dre Greenlaw last year and Talanoa Hufanga kind of shows that guys like Justin Strnad and Alex Singleton might have to lead the team due to the cap reasons. So if he does lead the team, I want to get him over here in Carolina, where he actually has worked with Edro Avero before. Because if I'm not mistaken, Edro Avero has been the defensive coordinator for the Broncos a few years ago with Alex Singleton. So he comes over to a very similar defense that they're running in Carolina. We're going to give him a 2-year, $12.5 million deal, $7.5 million guaranteed, or 60% guaranteed. He's going to be the green dot for our defense. We need a veteran guy who can come in, set the tone, and really bolster this linebacker core, because defense is where we need the most help, and we're going to grab one of the best linebackers on the market. Next, we have Sam Williams at defensive end for the Cowboys. This last year, he had 25 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 21 run stops, and 24 pressures. He didn't take a step back this season when he got more snaps after Micah Parsons got traded. They started relying on him a lot more than they did last year. He was a horrific run stopper last year. The 21 run stops were not, because of him. It was more cleanup tackles. He used the speed to bend around tackles. It kind of matches well with what, oh my gosh, what's their edge? Nick Scourton does. Looks more like a rotation guy more than a starter. So comes over to Carolina. Does not need to start immediately. He needs to be a high-end rotation guy. Be a more upside guy in the room. Still only 25 years old. Very young. And I don't think he's hit his peak yet. And in Carolina with Edger Rivera with his pressure packages, I do think Sam Williams could benefit from a new change of scenery. So we're going to give him a 2-year, $10.5 million deal. $6.5 million guaranteed at 65%. We're going to sign him over. He can either be a low-end starter for us or a high-end rotation player, because I do want to add more to this edge room. I think Sam Williams can be the exact type of veteran that we want to grab. Next, we're going to sign us with Rasul Douglas. Rasul Douglas last year had 47 tackles, 2 interceptions, 22 run stops, and 9 pass breakups, which was 12th in the NFL. He's been a solid corner for a few years. Probably since like 2021, he's been very good. He had a stellar blitzing year out of the nickel position. Come play nickel for J.C. Horn and Mike Jackson, who are solidifying their boundary duo prowess in the NFL. Come be that veteran nickel corner for them this year. He's honestly the only secondary guy from Miami I won't even entertain signing elsewhere. So we're going to sign him for a 1-year, $4 million deal. Let him come over, be that blitzing, run-stopping nickel corner that they desperately need, because this secondary is very thin outside of Mike Jackson and J.C. Horn. So just get Rasul Douglas. He can start immediately while you draft and develop someone behind him. Next signing is going to be Arden Key. Arden Key from the Tennessee Titans. This last year, he had 6 tackles, 5 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 9 run stops, and 33 pressures. He got production on the worst roster in the NFL, so it's worth something. I do think he could get close to starting minutes. I would not guarantee him a starter, seeing how you have Sam Williams, you have Arden Key, you have Nick Scourton, and you have another guy you drafted last year. So you can't guarantee it, but you're like, hey man, we're going to be a edge room by, what's it called? Running back by committee. So edge room by committee. So certain guys on certain packages are going to work out more, and they're going to get more snaps than other guys certain games. It's all about matchups. I want to bring a vet presence to this locker room, though, to this defensive edge room as well. It's a good run defender. He produced like this with a midseason 6-game injury. So he had 5 sacks in 12 games. That's awesome. Sorry, 11 games? 5 sacks in 11 games. So if you span that over, he would have been an 8 or 9 sack guy if he played all 17 games. I'm willing to get that on my team. Just be a backup dude who can come in on 3rd down, get to the quarterback, and then be the vet presence in this room. We're going to sign him to a 2-year, $7 million deal, $3.5 million guaranteed, or 50%. So, it's a 1-year deal basically. If it works out, cool, gets $3.5 million. If it doesn't work out, you can cut him after this year, and you save $3.5 million cap space next year. Some other signs that we're going to be doing. Just want to fill out the roster. Noah Igbenogany, nickel corner, backup. Very young still, only 27 years old. The fact he's been in the league for 6 years makes me feel old, because I remember when the Dolphins drafted him. But Noah Igbenogany, he's a fine nickel corner, nothing crazy. Mike Edwards, veteran safety, was very good at one point, but once he went to Kansas City, kind of fell off a cliff. 1 year, $2 million. MJ Stewart, another backup safety, 1 year, $2 million. Jack Sanborn, only 26 years old. He's kind of the shot in the dark at a linebacker for the future next to Trevin Wallace. But if it doesn't work out, it's $2 million. But he's a solid pass coverage guy. I'm willing to have him on the depth chart. Yannick Kajust, veteran left tackle, been around the NFL. Just a veteran backup left tackle behind, why am I blanking on his name? Behind the left tackle, Ike Ekwonu. Thank you. I blanked for a second. Then that is not Leroy Reynolds. That is Josh Reynolds. I clicked the wrong person. Josh Reynolds, the veteran wide receiver. I want to be my backup slot receiver because you have Ted McMillan, you have Jalen Coker, you have Xavier Legette. I want to add a veteran guy in this wide receiver room who's been around the NFL, who knows how to win. So it's Josh Reynolds, not Leroy Reynolds. Misclick. So entering the draft, you're at positive $21 million. Still got a lot of money to play with if you want to try and go sign more players. But I want to let that roll over in the 2027, so we have about $80 or $90 million in cap space next year. Then in 2028, we're at 182. Great numbers for next year in 2028, while also maximizing this year's roster. So in the draft, a couple of priorities I want to do was add depth on the defense and offensive line and add skill positions. So I'm going to get a pretty good job. So in the NFL draft, here's what I did. At round 1, pick 19, I added D-tackle Caden McDonald from Ohio State. Caden McDonald had an amazing breakout season. He's one of the best run defenders in this class at D-tackle. He has a great anchor holding his position on the defensive line. He doesn't often get moved by offensive linemen, but he's the one doing the moving. And I do think he could anchor next to Derek Brown for the next 7 to 10 years. Like, this is a great run defender, a dude who can get to the quarterback when needed, but it's probably only going to average like 1 to 2 sacks a year. But he's be an amazing run defender next to Derek Brown. And I think it's a real shot that he could start over the veterans that are on this team. But at worst, it's a guy that you can build on for the future. But I do think D-tackle needs to be a priority for this team in the draft. Then in round 2 at pick 51, I'm going to grab Blake Miller out of Clemson. Blake Miller, he's a project at right tackle, probably only a 1-year project, then in 2027 can start. But for a team that just signed Taylor Moton to an extension, this can be a play for the future. Moton will be off this team after the 2027 season, whether it's retiring or you have to cut him because you can save $22 million. I do see him being off this team after the 2027 season. So you are kind of drafted for 2 years from now, having your franchise right tackle. He's 6'6", 315, ideal size for an athletic right tackle. He only allowed 5 sacks in his entire college career with over 2,500 snaps. He has flexibility at left tackle as well. He has played at left tackle in his career, but I just want to grab someone that could be my right tackle of the future. But until he becomes that full-time starter at right tackle, he could be a swing tackle, so it saves you a roster spot on a backup left tackle, having Blake Miller at right tackle. Then around 3 at pick 83, I'm going to grab Skylar Bell, the wide receiver out of Connecticut. Skylar Bell, great outside wide receiver threat. He's 6 foot, 185. More the wide receiver 2 mold. They can't really, dominate past cornerbacks that you need in a wide receiver 1. Definitely more, his skill set more plays off of a really good wide receiver 1, and he kind of takes advantage of the one-on-one matchups because he's a wide receiver 2. He had lots of offers before last year, but he stayed loyal to UConn, and I do appreciate that in a wide receiver, being humble and loyal. That's something I want in my wide receiver core. He's athletic, very fast, he has good hands. He's going to be a draft steal for someone, and he has a different mold than Ted McMillan and Xavier Legette. He's more that possession speedster than he is that big body, big catch radius. He's just more the guy who throw him the ball, he gets the ball, he makes a play. Then at round 4, number 119, I'm going to go linebacker Keyshawn Elliott from Arizona State. He does everything on the defense. He's good at blitzing, good at run defending, good at coverage. He has a lot of snaps in his college career, so I do think he is ready for the next step in the NFL. And I don't think he's going to be a starter year 1, but I think he could give you valuable run defending snaps immediately. He did dominate with 26 run stops in college last year, so that's someone that I would feel very comfortable on first and second down putting out there. If injuries mount, if poor plays mounting from the veterans, Keyshawn Elliott, I could see getting snaps in year 1. Then in round 5, number 156, I'm going to grab Caden Curry, edge from Ohio State. Caden Curry had 12 sacks last year on a very good defensive line from Ohio State. He's a great run defender. He got full-time starter snaps for the first time, and he made the most of his opportunity. He's great off the line with his burst. He's a 4-3 defensive end, but I do think if he could slim down, he could make that 3-4 outside linebacker that this defense runs. So get a little bit of weight off his shoulders. Let him get a little bit more speed because of that, and I think he'd be a really good pass rusher for them. But at worst, a guy who played at Ohio State, got 12 sacks, dominated this last year, is someone that I want on my team. Then in round 5, number 157, we have a linebacker, Red Murdoch from Buffalo. Red, he dominated at Buffalo. He had 16 coverage snaps and 40 run stops, which was 17th in college football. He had 180 tackles over the last 2 years. He's only 6'1". It's another dart throw at an athletic linebacker who is going to get overlooked because of his size. But Red Murdoch can just bring some of that run defending prowess that he had at Buffalo to the NFL. The Carolina Panthers, with a very thin linebacker room, would love to have that in their room. Then in round 6, number 199, I'm going to have cornerback Damani Jackson from Alabama. He's 6'1", 200, prototypical size for a corner. He has a lot of experience at a great college against elite skill players playing at Alabama. He didn't shine, but he wasn't the weak link in the defense of this Alabama defense that kind of underwhelmed us last year. This is a solid choice at 199. Nothing crazy. A lot of starting experience, a lot of snaps. Someone that you can get in the 6th round and cool, we know what he is. If we need him, we got him. Then in round 7, number 235, I want to take a shot in the dark at a corner in Josh Moten from Southern Miss. He attacks the ball in the midair despite his deficit. He attacks the ball midair to his deficit, much like a lot of the corners and safeties in the NFL who just try and get a turnover and kind of get burned because of it. That's Josh Moten. He's 6 foot, 185. He has 10 interceptions and 8 touchdowns allowed the last 2 years. So he is winning the turnover battle, but he is also kind of biting at the turnovers a little too much and getting burned because of it. He's on a very bad team in Southern Miss, but maybe if you can move him to safety, I think he actually be a pretty good free safety with the way he can see the vision. He has the speed to do it. I do think sometimes because of his lack of arm length, he does kind of get beat up when it comes to those deep balls. So if you can get him at free safety, use his speed, use his intelligence as, hey, you see the ball in the midair, run for it. I think that'd be a little bit better for him than, hey, match up against a wide receiver, one-on-one. It gives me a B. I really like this mock draft. It's one of my favorites I've actually done so far. Caden's a starter. Blake's a high-end backup, future starter. Skylar could be a starter. Keyshawn Elliott, high-end backup. Caden Curry, high-end backup. Red, Damani, and Josh, if they can all develop in a nice way, they can all be high-end role players. So I like it. B, I'm willing to give it a B. Nothing too crazy, but nothing too bad either. So my projected depth chart would look like something like this. At quarterback, Bryce Young and Andy Dalton. Nothing changes at quarterback. At running back, Chuba Hubbard, Jonathan Brooks, and Trevor Etienne. As you can see, I did not re-sign Rico Dowdle. There's talks they might franchise tag him. I'm not going to do it. Chuba, Jonathan Brooks, Trevor Etienne. If you want to add a young guy in the draft, go ahead. But I decided to just run it back with those guys. At tight end, Tommy Tremble, Jatavion Sanders, Mitchell Evans. Nothing changes there either. At wide receiver, Ted McMillan, Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker. Then Skylar Bell will be the backup to Ted McMillan. Josh Reynolds is the backup slot, with Jimmy Horn being that returner and backup boundary receiver as well. At offensive line, the only real addition is Blake Miller, but Ike Ekwonu, Damian Lewis, Cade Mays, Robert Hunt, and Taylor Moten return as your 5 starters, with Guyton Kajust, Nick Samak, Chandler Zavala, and Blake Miller as your backups. At D tackle, Derek Brown, Ashawn Robinson, and Tershawn Wharton. For real, I think Kaden McDonald could beat out Ashawn or Deshaun Wharton to play tackle. But backups, Bobby Brown, Cam Jackson, Kaden McDonald. That's a good D tackle room. High-end veterans, high-end potential backups that are on rookie contracts. I love that defensive tackle room. Then at edge, Princely Umanmielen, that's who they drafted. At edge, Nick Scourton, Princely Umanmielen, who I loved out of last year's draft. Those are your starters, with Patrick Jones, Arden Key, Sam Williams, and Caden Curry, all getting high-end starting rotation minutes. But I do think you want to invest in Princely and Nick as they were high-end draft picks last year. But that is a great, deep veteran edge room. Honestly, Caden Curry probably wouldn't even play his first year. It'd be a rotation of Nick, Princely, Patrick, Arden, and Sam. At linebacker, Trevin Wallace, Alex Singleton as your starters, with Keyshawn Elliott, Red Murdoch, and Jack Sanborn as your veterans and your rookies as the backups. At corner, Mike Jackson, J.C. Horn, and Smith-Wade at nickel, with Damani Jackson, Josh Moen as the backup boundary, and Razul Douglas and Noah Igbenogany as the backup nickels. Then at safety, you have Lathan Ransom, you drafted last year at free safety, Javon Merrick at strong safety, with MJ Stewart and Mike Edwards backing up those two guys. This is a solid roster, man. This is a real NFC South. Wow. I'm struggling to talk today. I'm very tired. This is a real competitor in the NFC South. With a team, with the Saints, who I think could also be pretty good next year if everything goes right. The Buccaneers are going to be there still. The Falcons with a new head coach and returning most of the starters. This is going to be a really interesting division next year. I think a lot of the different teams could win it, and a lot of these teams could win a lot of games. But this could be like a 10 or 11 win team, depending on how Bryce Young plays next year. I do like it. The running backs, you might want to add another dude in the draft because you let Rico Dowdle walk. Jonathan Brooks keeps getting injured. So it's basically just a room with Chuba Hubbard and Trevor Etienne. So you maybe want to add a veteran or a guy in the draft class. But wide receiver, I feel good. Tight end, I feel good. Offensive line, I feel good. And defense, I feel very good about. So yeah, if you guys enjoy, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. How many wins do you think this team wins? How many? I said 10 or 11. Do you think that's too much, too little? Let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys later. Peace and bye.